Hi, and welcome to Hooner History with a great story today. You know how some musical legends are just going to forever be linked to their hometown city. Jimi Hendrix in Seattle, Chicago, and Minneapolis is all about Prince. Got to tell you a few stories today. In fact, I'm going to walk you around kind of the downtown area. There is the Prince mural, and it is just a block or so away from both the Target Field, where the Twins play, and the Target Center, where the Timberwolves play. And, something I wanted to show you right here. As a matter of fact, here's part of, I think, why that mural ended up right where it is. Let me just turn this around here. Look, they even honored him with the name of the street. Yep, this is Prince Rogers Nelson Way. And there's the mural. And then I'm going to spin you around right here. They got a lot of murals in Minneapolis. There's First Avenue, the famous music venue, or should I say, the music venue that Prince made famous in Purple Rain, and where after the movie, there would be times over the years where he was known to just kind of show up unannounced and do music sets. And can you imagine what that must have been like for fans to just see him show up one night and start jamming? So that's just one of many stories in this downtown Minneapolis area regarding Prince. Another one that I love, a few blocks away from here, is the former radio studios of KMOJ. Love those call letters. The thing about that is that they were a local hometown station that really believed in Prince before he became a national figure. And so they decided that they would play his music, give him a little head start before he became really an artist known around the world. The DJs would say that he would occasionally, I've got to show you, they got a whole wall of, right here at the venue, right Avenue.
She said she trusts her, and I started laughing.
Got the wall of stars right here. Prince, the most prominent for sure. But the radio station, they say, some of the old DJs, that he would occasionally call in and request his own songs. You know, he'd pretend that he was somebody else. And, hey, you know, you're trying to give yourself a kind of a head start with your local hometown radio station. Why not do it with KMOJ? There's another Prince story that I find utterly fascinating that I wanted to share with you, and it has to do with an album. It's really kind of a mystery, an album that he released, and at the very last minute, after hundreds of thousands of copies of that vinyl had been pressed, he decided he didn't want it released. He said it came to him as a kind of an epiphany that the album was not only not good, it was evil and should never be released to the world. Well, you can imagine all the producers and everybody else, they weren't happy with that. All of those albums were ordered, destroyed. And I think 99.9% of them were. However, supposedly, I think the number is 8, but it's small, it's under a dozen of those original albums were pressed, did somehow manage to escape, and it is considered one of the most valuable pieces of vinyl anywhere in the world if you can get your hands on one. Although, don't count on it. The last report I saw was that one of them sold. It was called, by the way, the Black Album. And one of them sold in 2018 for a price of, I believe, right around $40,000. So Yeah, like I say, who knows? 2018, there's been a little bit of inflation since then. If another copy changes hands, can't even imagine what that would be worth. But hey, I mean, it was one of those things that Prince just decided at the very last minute it was not going to see the light of day, and it almost didn't. Okay, so one other story I want to share with you. Just wanted to walk a few blocks. Can you see this building? Let me see. I'll give you a reference point here. Here's the Target Center, home of the Timberwolves. Here's their local downtown Mayo Clinic. But focus with me, if you would, for just a minute, on this building right here, now called the Cowles Center, but it's been around for a very long time. And the story goes that one night, I mean in the middle of the night, that Prince showed up in, if I get it right, some kind of flowing white robe at about 2 a.m, and just kind of appeared from out of nowhere and asked a custodian here in this venue what he knew about the acoustics in this building. Yeah, first of all, I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of a start, and then secondly, you're standing there having a 2 a.m. conversation with none other than Prince. So the stories abound from all across Minneapolis, the home of Prince. And those are just a few that I wanted to share with you today on the latest edition of Hooner History. You could make my grandson very happy, Mason. He's in charge of Hooner History here on YouTube. I always have to ask for a like and a subscribe. Anyway, fun walking around downtown Minneapolis with you and sharing just a few of the stories of a music legend. Thanks for watching.